In episode 434 of Value in My Toy Collection, we're going to value some Garbage Pail Kid stickers and all kinds of miscellaneous toys. This episode is really jam-packed with toys, and make sure you stay until the end of the video so you can see what our overall grand total is. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building, and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. Let's jump right in and start valuing our toy collection. First, we're going to start with this neon sign we just got in, and it's worth about $20. Then we have a couple Xena Warrior Princess dolls. These are worth about $20 each, and I just got these in from eBay because one of my last videos I just did was of Xena Warrior Princess, and I was missing two of them, and it was driving me crazy. Then we have this little Poppy Troll styling head. She's worth about $15. And we have this little mermaid figure, super cute, worth about $4. Then we've got this little fake tube of toothpaste. It looks like someone spilled. It's probably worth about $2. And then we have these vintage ashtrays, probably from like the 70s. And we have 4 different ones, and each of these are worth about $12. I don't even think they put ashtrays in hotel rooms anymore because most places are no smoking. Random toys, we have a Gerald plush from Hey Arnold worth about $12, and this little figure from the Walking Dead series worth about $5. Then we've got some metal signs for the wall. This one says I Love Lucy. It's not the real I Love Lucy, but I thought it's pretty cool. A little strawberry shortcake cereal box sign. These are all worth about $10 each. We have a Dynasty from the 80s. That was a really cool show. My mom really liked that show. And then from the 70s, we have Good Times. And then we have everyone's favorite from the 90s, Family Matters. And again, these are worth about $10 each. And Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Then we have this really cool set of vintage keys. They're kind of painted rainbow, different colors, worth about $15. And this single key's worth about $5. We have some Ann Geddes pictures. These are worth about $8 each. She was really talented, and I think she was from the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, when her work was so popular. But we have 4 of these, so that's another $32 we can add to our overall grand total. And then we have a ton of cereal boxes. We have about 30 of these, and I'm going to figure all of these about $5 each. Some of them run a lot more, and some might even be $2. So I think $5 is a safe average. And I have a couple in here I'm not even going to value. I think I have a few more than 30, but I'm going to say 30. But some of these are pretty cool. Like when they have the trolls on them, if they have some kind of character that's kind of modern, they usually increase in value, especially like this JoJo Siwa cereal box. I mean, she's only going to get older, so when it has that younger picture of her, it'll definitely increase. Hocus Pocus 2, that's a great cereal box. And then these specialty cereal boxes, they usually increase in value too. Like the Mickey Mouse Club, that was only out for a little bit when Disney was celebrating their 100 little series there. Another JoJo Siwa, I usually don't like to have duplicates, but I will keep those two. A Wendy's Frosty cereal box, that's pretty cool. I don't know why I kept a couple regular Captain Crunch boxes, but that is my favorite cereal. Then we have Elf on the Shelf. That's pretty cool. And then look at this one, a little Sesame Street box. I'll walk through the cereal aisle sometimes and buy that $5 box of cereal just for the box and end up feeding the cereal to the turtles in the lake. I thought this was cool with John Legend on it. Whenever they have celebrities on the cover, I usually buy it. PJ Masks. And this wasn't a cereal box, but I thought the graphics were really cool, so I kept it. And I love a Rice Krispie treat. My mom used to make me those as a kid, and I still love them. This has some famous football players on the front. I thought that was pretty cool. This one is an icy cereal box. The cereal looks disgusting, but the box was pretty cool. And then for Halloween, they came out with the different Boo Berry and Frankenberry cereal. So I picked up those boxes just because they were so colorful and so cool. And one good thing about collecting cereal boxes is they don't take up much room if you leave them flat. You can just store them in a drawer. I wish my toy museum was going to be big enough that I could open all of them up and spread them out, but I don't think I'm going to have room for that. But you never know. Maybe one day I'll expand. Here's some Fruity Pebbles for Halloween. That's pretty cute. Like I said, when they were Halloween themed boxes, I usually picked them up, especially when they're just limited edition. Here's Willy Wonka on the cover of the Fruit Loops box. I thought that was pretty cool. If it's just something different, I will definitely collect it. And let's not even talk about how expensive cereal is now. It's ridiculous. I thought this box was really cute with the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown characters. And then look, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle box. That's really cool. And then another icy box. I have some miscellaneous boxes. A Sugar Crush candy box worth about $2. That was such a popular game. Secret Life of Pets box worth about $5. And then we have some more Candy Crushes. These had the little fruit snacks in them, and these are bigger boxes. And these will be worth about $5 each to collectors because they'll be in our video game section. Anytime anything's real trendy like that, it will be worth something. And then we have LeBron James from Space Jam on a macaroni and cheese box. It's worth about $8. And then we have Chester Cheetah on a macaroni and cheese box, and this will be worth about $5 in the future. And then this, a unicorn macaroni and cheese box, worth about $5. Now we'll move on to some board games. We have a Perfection game worth about $15, and a 90s Trivial Pursuit with all its pieces worth $12, and this skee ball game worth about $25. We have this Mr. Bubble Blower with some great graphics on it, worth about $22. A 40th Anniversary Connect Pac-Man roller coaster worth about $30, and some Celebrity Face Coaster games worth about $16. And then we have a game from the Jersey Shore. It's worth about $30. It has celebrity pictures on the front. That's always good. And then a Space Jam Monopoly worth about $22. And SpongeBob Sandy Science Lab worth about $25. And then we have this Monopoly Cash Grab game worth about $15. And then I found a stack of these little golden books. And they're worth about $5 each. Some of them are vintage and pretty cool. But that's about an average price for them. This one's kind of cool and old. Bugs Bunny Party Pass. And look at this, the biscuits. I didn't even remember those. Those are pretty cool. And the Quints, we just did a video with some of those dolls. So that's about $35 more we can add to our total. Found a vintage Winnie the Pooh puzzle board worth about $10. And then this one is called Hucklebug. I hadn't even heard of that. It's worth about $15. Here's a little tiger from Shirt Tales. Tig, worth about $15. And these little two dogs with a dollhouse. They're kind of hard. They're worth $10. Bogey's missing a piece, so he's probably only worth $2. And the one with the fruit, it's worth about $10. And the Berenstein Bears from 1988 is worth about $15. And then we have these. These are Garbage Pail Kids and Stranger Things combined together. Devoted Dustin, he is worth about $20. And then it shows there's 4 in the set. I actually have 4. One of them I have is like a special edition one. This one, Waff L, she glows in the dark. She's worth about $25. I think they make a regular version of her too that doesn't glow in the dark. And then we have Style and Steve. He's worth about $20. I think I got these at Walmart. I was just walking through one day and saw them. And then the Demogorgon, he's worth about $20. Got some little miscellaneous items here. We have Rod Wide, Garbage Pail Kid. He's worth about $15. And then Joe Blow. It's the same one with different names. I think different color gum, worth $15. And then we have these Garbage Pail Kid Crashers. Nasty Nick's worth about $17. And then Adam Bomb in the car, he's worth about $22. And then we have the Garbage Pail Kid van on a card worth about $18. Then a Garbage Pail Kid Atom Bomb figure still on the card, worth about $22. I think he's kind of like the logo, the main character of Garbage Pail Kids, the most popular. And then we have this little trash can that's a mystery figure. It's worth about $8. It's never been opened. And then we have a little Atom Bomber keychain worth about $12. And then we have these loose Garbage Pail Kid chrome stickers. We have 4 of these. They're worth about $1 each. So that's another $4 we can add. And then we have this pack of cards still sealed from 2004. And it's worth about $15. All right, then we have this empty box that housed a lot of the cards from 2014. They actually gave me that at Dollar Tree, worth about $15. And then we have these. These were actually mine when I was like maybe a preteen or a teenager. But these are Garbage Pail Kid sticker albums, and I had put my stickers in them, and very neatly, I should say. And I have 3 of these albums, and these are worth at least $40 each. And look, I found a set of puff stickers in here, and these are worth about $15 by themselves. And I put my stickers in here so neat, and I'm so glad I did. It's a great way to show them off. They probably would have been worth more if I'd have saved them on the original cards. But again, these sticker albums are worth about $40 each, and I didn't even fill in those pages where you're supposed to put your name and address and all that stuff on there. So mine's still pretty new, so anybody could collect it. And they're just a blast from the past. They bring back fun memories. You can tell I love stuff even as a kid. And then I had this little sticker book. I mean, it's not worth much, but it's probably worth at least $10. But it's got some cool vintage stickers in there, some scratch and sniff ones, and they still actually smell. Had some Chuck E. Cheese stickers, a couple Shirt Tail stickers, and a couple Lisa Frank stickers. I remember back in the day, you would go to the card shop and you could pull off one sticker from a roll of stickers and buy them for like 10 or 15 cents each to put in your sticker book, because sticker books were really popular at one point. They were the trend. Everything, look, there's some Captain Crunch stickers. Everything kind of goes through a trend, but they were a lot of fun and a cheap thing to collect for kids too. But even at 10 and 15 cents, if you bought a bunch of them, it added up when you didn't have a lot of money back then. Then I have one more sticker book. This one's got butterflies on it. This was not mine. I think I got this at a garage sale. But it's got this sheet of puffy Lisa Frank stickers in it that's worth about $20 by itself. And most of these stickers in this book aren't worth anything. I mean, there's a couple McDonald's ones and stuff, but it did have some stickers in the front pocket that hadn't been used, a couple Smurf stickers, and they're not very valuable, but it did have a surprise in the back of the book. It has a giant Lisa Frank sticker, and I kind of looked it up to see if it had any value, and it does. So that sticker book with that jumbo sticker, probably at least $20. I might could get $20 by the sticker for the sticker by itself. But that was a fun yard sale find. All right, then we have a pack of Garbage Pail Kid chrome stickers. And this little pack is worth about $30, believe it or not. And then we have this Creatures Pam with all the eyeballs. She's a fly, worth about $22. Well, all right, let's move on to some other toys. I found these Blues Brothers 2000 dolls. We have the Mac and the Elwood doll. And these are both worth about $25 each. It was Dan Aykroyd and John Goodman. And the likeness of them is pretty good in these figures. And then we have these little guys. These are called Hub Bubs. That's hard to say. And the little figures are worth about $6 each. They're from the 70s. And then the little mail truck is worth about $10. I had to look those up. I really wasn't familiar with those. We have Lewis from the Rio movie, worth about $5. And then from Miffy's Adventure, we have the Dad Rabbit. He's worth about $5 loose. And then these little guys are called Chubby Puppies. We have the Jack Russell Terrier worth about $8 and the Pomeranian worth about $8. And then from 1967, we have Sally Stewardess worth about $30. I might put her with all of our airplane stuff. Then we have these Hannah Montana cups that are kind of hologram that they change. They're worth about $12 each, so that's $48 for the set. That's crazy. And then we have this Celebrity Cruises doll. She's worth about $25. And next up, we have a giant Slinky that's multicolored, still in its little package, worth about $8. And then from the 80s, this little rock figure you put batteries in and she dances around, worth about $20. And then this is from the 70s. It's an acrylic lucite figure playing tennis, worth about $18. You would see these everywhere in the 70s. And then we've got some random figures here. We have the cat lady. She's worth about $6. And then we have Rocky. He's worth about $8. He's bendable. And then the bendable Bullwinkle is worth about $12. And we've had these a long time, these little foxes that are Valentine figures, and they're worth about $6 each, and we have 2 of those. And then we have these Mighty Ducks figures. I don't have their hockey pucks or sticks or anything with them, but that's why they're only worth about $8 each. They're not complete. And I have a Jessica Rabbit shot glass worth about $15 because she had a small chip on the back. They're usually worth a lot more than that. We have these Squeeze stress ball toys. They're not that valuable, but we have a little set of about 7 of the different ones, and they're worth about, I'd say, $2 each. They've got a little bit of value, not much. So that's about $14. But we have one in this set that's from Walgreens that's shaped like a big pill, and it's worth more like $8. But I don't know. Sometimes people give me these, and sometimes I pick them up here and there. They don't have a lot of value, but they're a really cool little marketing item. Look at this one. It's soil, like dirt. It's pretty fun. And then I think this one's great for doctor offices. And then some brains. And then we have the Grim Reaper, and he's worth about $5. Then we have from Wang's, we have these little vintage guys doing different things, and they're not super valuable, but I'd say worth at least $6 each because they're so old. I would pay $6 for these. And then I found one that's a little hillbilly in a package, and he's worth about $8. And then we're going to move on to our Downton Abbey stuff. We have this puzzle you can put together. I'm not sure if it's complete. I think it is, but it's worth about $30. And then we have the Clue game. That's worth about $26. And I really want to open that and play it. That looks like a lot of fun. And then we have the Downton Abbey board game worth about $28. And then we have a couple magazines. This magazine's worth about $5. Actually, they're all worth about $5, even this small one, because you just don't see a lot of memorabilia with Downton Abbey on it. They didn't really make a lot of collectible stuff with it. And then in the back, we have the Downton Abbey hardcover book, and it's worth about $10. Then we have a couple frame pictures of the movie. I just had them enlarged and framed up, and they're, I don't know, probably worth about $4 each. I think we have 4 of these, so that's another $16 we can add to our total. And we have this Downton Abbey Christmas ornament still in the box worth about $20, and this really cute mug that has all the different characters on it, and it's worth about $15. And then we have tea canisters with the different characters on them. And each of these canisters is still worth about $15. And we have 10 of these, so that's $150 worth of these we can add to our overall grand total at the end. And my favorite character on this show is Maggie Smith. I love her, but that was such a good show. I even went to the movies to see it when it came out too, but I think I have the whole series on DVD as well. Really good show. And then another show I love is called Bridgerton. It's on Netflix. And they came out with 4 different tins of these characters. And these are worth about $15 each. So that's about $60. I love Queen Charlotte with her different hair, her wigs. If you haven't seen that, you need to watch it just for the wigs. Then we have these honeybee characters. This 9-pack set's worth $25. The little cat set is called the Purringtons. They're worth about $20. And then we have this set of rabbits. I think they're called the Max Scampers. They're worth about $16. Then we have the bathroom set. It's worth about $20. And then we have the little Rainbow Ridge Unicorn family set, and they're worth about $18. We have the van. The van is actually worth about $50. It's kind of valuable. And let's see, we have the little 2-story cottage set. It's worth about $30. I thought it'd be worth a little bit more than that. And then we have the honeybee kitchen set. It's worth about $25 still in the box. And then we have the living room set, the cozy living room set, worth about $20. And the general store is worth about $40. And then we have the giant house, and it's only worth $55. I thought it was going to be worth a lot more than that. Some people had it listed more, but there was a listing for $55. I usually take the lowest price listing. And then we have this vintage little sheriff cowboy figure worth about $20. It's from the 60s. It's pretty hard to find. And we have a Mr. Bean bendable figure on the card worth about $20. And then we have an Ace Ventura figure, but it doesn't have the backing, but the figure's great. Probably worth about $12 in that condition. And then we have this really cute rainy day picture worth about $10 that you hang on the wall. Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. Little Johnny wants to play. And we have the Zazu bird from the Lion King plush. It's worth about $10. I have this little Simba figure worth about $7. And this Lion King mug from 1998 worth about $15. And then the last thing I have is this laminated picture behind this mug of 6 Feet Under. It used to be a TV show on HBO that I loved. It was such a good show. And this is probably worth about $5. So with our previous 433 videos of value in my toy collection, our total was $1,068,307. Now when we add this video of all of our different Garbage Pail Kid memorabilia and all those other cool toys we just showed, we can add another $2,400 even. It never comes out even. That's pretty cool. So that means now for episode 434 of Value in My Toy Collection, our new grand total is $1,070,707. I always wanted to say I had a $1 million toy collection, and now I can say that. I'm not a millionaire though, I'm more of a toyonaire because that's not money, it's just toys. But maybe one day I can sell it all for retirement, who knows. I've just been saving this all my life, going to thrift stores, garage sales, flea markets, toy stores, and looking online, and it just accumulated to that big old total. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I like to see what all I have and what it's actually worth. And I also put all the toys online on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. And if you like our videos, please think about subscribing because it certainly helps us grow. So until our next video, we will see you then.